It's the Off-Grid Prep Family Podcast.
Hey everybody, it's episode 49 of the Off-Grid Prep Family Podcast.
I can't believe it's 49 already. That's crazy.
Wow, that's old.
Yeah. I'm probably too quiet. Sorry. Today we're talking about protein. Let's talk protein, shelf-stable, and DIY.
Grow it yourself.
Grow it yourself.
Yeah.
DIY. That's not a... Don't do bugs.
No, just...
Is that what we mean?
No, you can if that's your thing. Shelf-stable protein is very important, and it can be tricky. And if you don't have a reliable source of long-term power yet, it's pretty necessary to have shelf-stable protein.
Yeah,
so
it is.
Easiest, we're talking about canned meat, right? Don't discount the usefulness of even like Spam or corned beef or those sorts of canned meats if you need it.
There's a lot of info on canned meats, and it all seems to involve pressure canning.
Oh, home canned meats, yes.
But
we do know people who do not
friends. What does she do with her chicken? Does she cook it first?
No, she cold packs the chicken.
She cold packs the chicken, and then what does she do?
Water bath for 3.5 hours. That's what they do with basically everything.
Okay, and these friends don't live off-grid necessarily.
I mean, I guess
they
do.
Don't have power. That's as specific as I'll get. And they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
In every way of life.
Yeah.
So I would say that you could trust that.
Yeah.
We don't do it. We haven't tried it. We haven't had to yet.
There's a lot of information on Make channel on YouTube on how that particular group of people cans.
Okay.
And she's got really good info.
Yeah.
So you can look it up there if you want to try that out. But don't let not having a pressure canner keep you from getting shelf-stable meat on your pantry shelf.
Yeah. See, with all this, us being off the grid and having worked on it for several years of our life, there's this whole group of people who've been doing it for centuries.
Yeah, they never went on the grid.
And they're really good at it.
Yeah, so just go and see what they're doing.
Find out what they're doing because they're right about most of this stuff. Not all of it, but most of it.
Yeah. Also, as far as shelf-stable protein, I would include freeze-dried meat. We really like freeze-dried meat, especially the chicken.
Yeah.
It is so handy.
Mm-hmm.
I can't foresee ever being able to run a freeze dryer off-grid.
No, we've done some research, and those things use power
the insane amount of power. I don't even know how people can afford to run them.
I don't think it's a budget thing. I think it's now I have
cool.
freeze-dried food.
I better do it. So,
yeah.
Anyways, if you want 15% off your first order of Thrive freeze-dried food, then you can check out the link on our friends and affiliates page, offgridprepfamily.com/friends.
Yeah, Thrive makes far and away the best freeze-dried food.
It's not anything added. It's just like chicken breast or sausage.
Really high quality stuff.
What else do we think of when we're talking about shelf-stable protein?
You get those pepperonis and beef jerkies that come on sale.
Right, and they don't need to be refrigerated.
No, they've been preserved within an inch of their life. So they're good to go. And
then don't forget the non-meat sources, right? TVP, rice and beans, quinoa, lentils, meat alternatives. You can take that as far as you want to take it.
Yeah.
Even broth. Even if you buy it in the jars or the cartons, or if you can it yourself.
Broth is tricky.
Yeah, it is tricky. Can we take a very quick break to talk first about the Off-Grid Prep Family Ultimate Planner? Really great Christmas gift for yourself or someone you know who needs to organize a lot of things in one handy place.
Yeah, you use yours every day, all day.
We're constantly using ours.
I know you wrote it, but it's full of all kinds of useful stuff.
And it's really handy because the kids are constantly not coming to me to ask what needs to be done. They're going to the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, very handy. You can get it on Amazon. Just search for Off-Grid Prep Family Ultimate Planner. So what else do you want to talk about for protein, shelf-stable protein?
Well, we did mention broth, which is important. Canned broth, jars, and the cartons, the no-name broth, anything. I guess oxo cubes and stock powders and concentrates, they're not great.
Yeah, maybe it doesn't have protein, but it's like a good pick-me-up, like a really warm bowl of like some hot broth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it'll pump up any kind of veggie-based soup too. You canned soups that have meat in them.
Right. That's easy to
Or
store.
mushroom soup.
Yeah, easy to
Yeah.
store, cheap to buy still.
Mm-hmm.
Not as cheap as it used to be,
No.
but you know.
But
cheap
it
enough.
is still affordable. And
Yeah.
finally, the most expensive option, probably the least effective option, nuts,
Right.
peanut butter powder.
Peanut butter powder stores longer, but it has no fat in it.
Exactly. And we hardly use any. Well, I don't remember last time we bought just nuts.
Yeah, they're
'Cause
so
they're so
expensive
expensive
right
in
now.
Canada.
And the amount of peanut butter that you'd need to eat to equal just like a little bit of ground beef or something, it's not cost
The
effective.
kids won't eat the natural peanut butter.
Right.
They won't go near it.
They just want
And
the Jif.
The other stuff's just sugar.
Yeah.
So we don't do a lot of nuts.
Yeah. As far as like moving on from the meat section, I would start thinking if you're a dairy eating family, shelf stable dairy.
Do we want to talk about like just shelf stable meat here, or do we want to mention again what we do for actual meat? Like when you're preserving meat or storing meat, we have a giant deep freeze.
Yeah. So if you're off grid,
Yeah.
you now don't have to worry so much about the shelf
power-
stable.
Yeah.
Because the power's not going to go out.
Yeah.
So we throw just about everything in the freezer.
In
We
our deep
hardly
freeze.
can anything other than the stuff that we like canned.
Yeah. And our deep freeze is newer. I think it's a Frigidaire.
Yeah, but it's
But
gigantic.
It's like 7 feet long. It's a big deep freeze.
And we can run it no problem. And we have a little
Easily.
backup one for
We do.
just in case something happens to it.
And basically, the two sources of meat that we've delved into, one is we raised Meat Kings, and I think this is good to bring up again in an episode that talks about protein.
I always forget that not everyone's heard every episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is important. Our own experience, we've raised Meat Kings. We got it down to an art form, the plucking and the boiling dip and the gutting and everything.
Yeah. We're
And
good at it. We're fast. It's effective.
At the end of the day, raising them, and we even let them free range, so they got bugs and stuff, they still cost us nearly $5 a pound.
For feed.
Whatever you call it,
The feed
hanging
bill.
away. The feed bill
Yeah.
ended up being $5 a pound, not including the extra infrastructure.
Yeah.
And we can still get beef from a number of local sources for $4 a pound.
Yeah.
So it wasn't worth it for us.
Yeah. We didn't do any meat kings this year.
No.
It's
No.
a
We did
little less.
50 last year?
It's less variety.
Yep.
100 is about the number that we need, but it's cheaper for us right now
To just buy
to
beef.
just do more beef. Yeah.
To get into the specifics of Meat Kings, because I think it's the best meat to raise if you don't know what you're doing. Because chicken, they're easy to raise. They take care of themselves.
Yeah.
They're small. There's that's probably one of the biggest factors. Is say you raise a cow, killing it and then hanging it involves
thing.
machinery or hoists and
Yeah.
several people and a gun and
Yeah.
like
It's a whole thing.
everything with a chicken is easy.
Yeah. If you wanted, as many people do, you could just go outside, catch a chicken, slaughter it, and cook it for dinner.
You could, yeah.
Like, one of our teenagers could do that.
It is.
No problem.
So that's our number one selection for off-grid protein is chickens.
It's just so easy.
It is.
We've done the rabbits.
We have done
We
the
do not
rabbits.
prefer the rabbits.
No, we had I think 3 different varieties of rabbit.
We've tried. We keep
They
trying.
were gross.
We also don't enjoy goat.
No, it smells like goat.
It smells like goat. It
Yeah,
smells
even
like
when
a
you do it
teenage
well.
boy room.
And we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
And it's just not good.
Yeah.
And I know actually goat's not a very common one, and probably that's why, like mutton, right?
Right.
But yeah, rabbits. I think the worst thing of the rabbit, it tasted like I would imagine a rat would taste.
Totally.
Right? It was
Yeah.
like there was like a length to the it was just
Yeah.
not good.
Yeah. You can only hide it in tacos for so many
Yeah.
days in a row before your kids start just not eating the tacos.
It wasn't good. And the goat was just
Yeah.
they were just
not our
difficult.
thing. Yeah.
No. Chickens don't taste like much. You can make any dish with chicken.
Yeah.
You do get sick of it after months and
Yeah.
months of only chicken,
So the variety's good.
but it's definitely the best way to go.
yeah, the meat birds for sure. Also, whenever there's a old hen, you can eat the old hen. You make coq au vin or something.
Yeah, they don't go gamey. They
Yeah.
still taste like chicken.
Any animals as far as off grid, if you don't have like a lot of power,
And infrastructure.
I would say animals that you can keep on the hoof outside until you need them are also pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think pigs would be good for that. We haven't done pigs.
Turkeys, or not meat kings, but regular chickens, because the meat kings, they top out.
Yeah, they die.
They'll just die if they're too old.
They just eat until they fall over.
We don't really like dual-purpose birds, but in that case, that might be one of the reasons where dual-purpose birds would be helpful. Okay. Do you want to go back to dairy? Yeah. And then we can talk more about other stuff? Okay.
We did a big dairy thing this year.
We did. Buying the raw milk and dealing with the milk, and so now we know how to do that. As far as shelf stable goes, people do canned milk and butter and all those things. I'm not going to tell you how because you're not, quote-unquote, supposed to do it, but you can if you want.
It's really easy.
We store powdered milk. We can make yogurt with that if we want to.
Yep.
You can see how much we store in our 1-year food book, just to give you an idea of how much you should store, maybe. We also store canned milk in evaporated and the sweetened condensed forms, because sometimes that's better for a recipe or whatever. There are also shelf-stable cartons of milk that you can get that are, like, super pasteurized, but if you had to. Or, like, almond milk, things like that come in cartons. If you're a non-dairy family, you need to look at storing the ingredients you need to make your own oat milk or almond milk or cashew milk or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that if you're dairy-free, you're probably making your own because you probably don't like all the ingredients that come in those carton forms. We really like the instant milk from Thrive.
Yeah, it's powdered milk, but it has a little bit of fat in it, doesn't it?
And it shakes up like right away. It's like good to drink immediately. If you can store both the fat-free and the full-fat powdered milk, then you have more options. Cheese, of course, there's like freeze-dried cheese. Yeah. Which isn't really that great.
You can get cheese powder.
We like the cheese powder.
Yeah.
Shelf-stable cheeses, if you're not picky about your ingredients, there's even like nacho dip, the deluxe mac and cheese. You don't need to add butter and stuff too. So that's handy.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, and even like as far as not storing eggs and milk, like if you get pancake mix that's the deluxe kind, just add water.
Yeah.
Then that's so much less eggs and milk that you have to store.
Costco stuff. Yeah.
And for canned butter, if you have like a Asian-y sort of market, international food near you, you look for what's called ghee. It's like clarified butter that's canned, and it'll last for years.
Cool.
It can be really expensive, but it's less expensive if you get it at a international food type place.
Yeah. Next is smoking and curing. We just started getting into this, and it is
last year. Yeah.
It's very low cost.
Yeah.
Because it's just smoke. But it is high skill.
Yes.
Like it takes a lot of practice to properly
feel
smoke
for it and be prepared to kind of waste some meat a little bit if you're
We saw that clip on Instagram of the guy who uses the old filing cabinet. Genius.
I thought that was so smart.
I did smoking in my propane barbecue, and I watched a couple of videos, and then I ultimately settled on a technique where I put any piece of wood, like just literally anything, on the right hand or left hand burner, and then I take the meat and I put it over on the other side with no burner, and that wood smokes.
It like circulates.
Yeah, a damper piece of wood is better. And then the smoke just circulates, and it takes like 3 hours, 4 hours to do a fairly large chunk of meat. Yeah.
But we've used all sorts of wood, and we haven't really found a difference.
Maple, oak, pine, trash, like not trash wood like OSB or anything, but like solid wood, it does not matter what species.
We have some downed apple trees that we could use, but I don't see it making much of a difference.
Smoke is smoke.
There's all sorts of like traditional food preservation methods that are, a little more off-grid friendly.
But very labor-intensive and very hhigh skill. Like, it takes a lot of practice.
So even for the equipment, it might just be cheaper to just get a bigger solar panel.
Yeah. I don't know, but I did like the traditional smoking. Yeah. The meat tastes amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eggs, you just go every day.
Once again, back to chickens.
Yeah, we don't do water glassing or freeze dried or any of that stuff because we feed our chickens really well all winter long. We make sure that they're getting lots of calories through the winter, and they hardly stop laying for us at all.
They did hardly at all, and we just had stock layers. They weren't anything special.
And we freeze some in, like, we scramble them up and put them in egg cartons.
Yeah.
But not a lot. Like, we froze a whole banana box full last year, and it was way too many.
It was way too many.
We were drowning in custard and homemade noodles.
And it was delicious, but unnecessary.
Yeah.
We feed our chickens standard chicken feed, but we also supplement with all of our scraps.
Right.
Like, everything. They love meat, meat scraps. Another weird thing, a gross thing about bunnies love meat scraps.
Yeah, that's weird.
Didn't learn that in school.
Yeah.
Super gross.
I'd like it.
But so do rats, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, chickens will eat literally anything.
Yeah. And if we think they're starting to drop off, or we're trying to get them back to laying, we'll give them some, like, oats soaked in, like, beef tallow or some kind of fat.
Yeah.
And that seems to really help.
It does.
And if your chickens have totally stopped laying, you just give them some whey or yogurt.
Yeah.
And that they're slightly allergic to it, and it makes them start.
That's funny.
Yeah. So it's not a long-term solution, but it's short-term.
Yeah.
Let's take one quick second to talk about
1 year of food.
Yeah.
You can feed your large family or group for 1 full year. It's a very detailed list.
It's available on Amazon. It includes everything you need to know to feed a big group of people for 1 full year, with the grocery lists, how to store it, what to cook, how many times you can cook each meal, and even how to grow the majority of it yourself. And you can get it today on Amazon, and it'll still be there in time for Christmas for you.
And it's based on our own personal experience.
Yes.
You built this spreadsheet over several years.
Yeah.
Just trying to get us, as a fine-tuned instrument in terms of storing and
Yeah.
food.
Well, and we were living on remote islands, on a sailboat, in the RV, places where you can't really afford to make a mistake food storage-wise.
Yeah.
And so you need to know how much you have and what you can make with it, so that you don't run out of food in April before the ferry's running or something. So you can take our hard work and put it to use in your own family.
Yeah.
1 year of food. It's on Amazon. Merry Christmas.
So getting back to chickens, it doesn't really matter what breed you have. You're going to get the same results. They're a very robust animal.
Yeah.
They don't really care much about change. And you don't have to rub their udders and tell them they're pretty to get product.
It's not a whole thing.
Those eggs are coming out. They are going to abandon them the moment they come. Oh, that's the thing I heard. I don't know where it was. It's a cruelty-free meat.
They're going to lay them anyway.
They're going to lay them. That egg is going to rot. They couldn't care less about that egg. It is free protein. Yeah. Without harming anything. Yeah.
We like the egg-laying breeds for egg layers.
Yeah. Also, we don't have a rooster because that's a whole other thing. But anyway, we got rid of our roosters. Couldn't be happier about it. Yeah. And since there's no rooster, the egg's not fertilized anyway.
So you don't have to worry about half a chick.
So they literally convert scraps to protein. Yeah. It's brilliant.
Yeah. All right. So we got eggs, we got meat birds. How about sprouts? There's lots of protein in sprouts.
Yeah, what's the brand of sprouts you get?
I like the Mum's brand sandwich saver mix. It's the cheapest, like, as far as serving wise, and we go through 2 pounds of it in a winter. Yep. So we do 1 tray a day.
How much is it for the 1 pound bag? $10, $20?
No, it's a quarter pound for $14 now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that lasts us, the quarter pound bag lasts us just under a month.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's cheap compared to lettuce these days.
That's pretty darn cheap for a month's worth of veggies for a family.
Yeah, so that's our fresh veggies all winter long. And we do them in the cheap green trays that you see on Amazon. On like a piece of scrap fabric so that the seeds don't fall through. Some people do them on paper towel, but I think that's gross because then you get bits of paper towel mixed in with your...
we just use like a fake linen. It's like polyester linen.
Just a rag.
Yeah.
And then we start 1 tray a day and we try to eat 1 tray a day. Yeah. And they have veggies and protein. Yeah. So
they're brilliant. Yeah. Yeah.
There's lots of things that you could do if you have smaller property like quail. Or rabbits, if you're not allowed loud animals.
Yep.
if you had a little more room, ducks, pigs. Variety is good because, as we know, redundancy.
Yeah.
2 is 1 and 1 is none. And
Yeah.
if something goes through your chicken coop, it's good to have an alternative source.
That happened to us this fall. We had
lost
18 hens,
Yeah.
and they were full free range. Like, we took the fence down and just let them waddle through the forest. In less than a month, I think it was 3 weeks, we were down to 4.
Yeah.
Something figured out that there was a bunch of snacks running around, and they were just gone.
Yeah, it was too bad.
I did see a falcon at one point, like eye to eye. I was 10 feet from him.
But
before
we
I saw
have
him.
eagles. We have 4 eagles.
We do.
Like
we have
within
4 bald eagles
50 feet
behind
of our house. So.
which is lovely, but
Yeah.
they also eat the hens.
Now, if you are lucky enough to live somewhere where there's big game, hunting,
Yep.
or trapping, if you're somewhere like us that doesn't have that, I'll take the no deer to not have deer in my garden, but I do see the allure
Yeah.
of just having protein wandering around the forest.
Yeah.
How about chicken of the trees? Right? If you've got some teenage boys, send them out there for the chicken of the trees.
Yeah. We do have pheasants,
Yeah,
which are surprisingly large.
yeah, I meant squirrels, but yes.
Oh, squirrels. Yeah, we don't have big squirrels here. When we lived in Ontario, there were those
Yeah.
giant gray squirrels.
Oh,
even
yeah.
New Brunswick.
Yeah. Ours
But
is pretty
here,
small.
you couldn't get anything off of them.
We have hares and rabbits. There's wild geese.
Yeah, we do have some of those big
Yeah.
jackrabbits. Yeah.
My number one thing for protein would be finding local farmers, building your community that way,
Yeah.
and if possible, bartering.
Yeah, we
for the
haven't
meat.
done that yet, but
We can never find a fair straight across trade, and that's tricky when you're buying things in large quantities. But we'll get there. Above all else, as far as protein goes, figure out how much you need and make a plan.
yeah.
Try and keep a year's worth at all times. And to figure out how much a year's worth is for you, you could use our handy dandy Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah.
It's available over on our website, offgridprepfamily.com. If you go to the store, it's in the download section. Or you could just grab a copy of 1 year of food from Amazon.
And it has that in it
And
already.
it has it already calculated, and it's on Kindle or paperback.
Nice.
Anything else you want to chat about? What have you been up to?
Lots of stuff.
Lots of stuff. We're supposed to get our first snow tomorrow.
Yeah, we moved our solar panels again.
We did.
Yeah,
The
I
saga
spent-
of the solar panels.
So when we moved into this house, the solar panels were just out of convenience on the ground, like on the south of the house out front. And I didn't have a snow blower.
Yeah.
So, of course, immediately they get caught in drifts because they're just on the ground. And
East Coast, right?
East
So we get
Coast.
like that heavy,
big, heavy snow.
You get like 2
Yeah.
feet of snow overnight. You're not moving it.
No. And so anyway, this year I did buy a snowblower, a nice, great big one, a 33-inch snowblower. And so after the Hurricane Fiona, we had to take our solar panels down in like quickly,
During the hurricane.
like right before the
You can
hurricane.
see that on Instagram if you
Yeah.
want to watch us scramble the solar panels off the roof.
And then what was it, a month ago?
No, it was last Thursday.
Was it
No,
that?
it was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks
Yeah.
ago, we had another store where it felt like God was punching the house.
It was as bad
It was
as the
like
hurricane.
like the severity and the quickness of the blows was just ridiculous.
It was insane. So just from
So-
experience, it was at
Yeah.
least 120k
at
winds.
least gusts of 120,
So
we
we were
took 'em
like,
back down.
Okay, that's enough of that.
and we put them back with a better rack. Well, the rack that I had built for the roof, we
Right.
repurposed it and braced them down on the ground. But this year, like I said, I have a snowblower,
So you
so
can
I can
blow
tear
the
through the
snow off in
drifts,
front of
and
them,
we
yeah.
don't have to worry about it.
So they're on the ground, and they've
yeah.
made it through another storm since then. Not
Yeah.
as bad, but it was nice to not have to worry about them up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird. Guess the only other thing we did, we stocked up for wood, and
did.
we pre-cut a lot of wood, which was nice. We stored it in our indoor foyer, and with a large family, we found it helpful to have a great big ceramic tiled area with a baby gate.
Where everyone
That
can take off their
for-
boots and stuff. Yeah.
To a certain degree, it doesn't matter how dirty that particular room gets.
Right.
I guess you could call it a mud room, but there's no wall. So
Yeah.
so we store a bunch of wood in there, and I guess the a note on redundancy is we have 2 generators, the same model, a Furman inverter generator. And I had to bring one in and rebuild it. Not so much rebuild it, just take the head off and clean out the combustion chamber. But it was really nice to have that second. So the old generator's still out there running great because I had rebuilt it not that long ago. And I did that again for the new one.
Yeah, we really like Furman. They'll send you parts. They're not a hassle.
Yeah. I think they're actually a Chinese-owned company like what's it called, Cymark or... No, not that. Anyway... They're based out of California, and they sell at Home Depot and Lowe's and all the big stores. Yeah. And their generators are quiet, very high quality, and very affordable. So
you can get 2.
Yeah, we don't even have a sponsorship with them or anything.
We should.
They're really good. We have 2. One of them's almost 4 years old. The hour meter just recently circled. Remember old cars? The speedometer would only go up 5 digits.
Okay.
And you'd circle it. So
it would how many lap. Thousands of hours have we put on that generator?
I assume it circled at 1,000, and now it's at 29 hours.
That's funny.
Yeah. So that's I wasn't even really paying attention to how many hours it had on it.
It's that time of year. It's gray.
Yeah.
We have if the sun was shining, we'd have 4 hours of sun.
Yeah. Which is enough for our solar array.
It's not. It never is at this time of year. It's always cloudy and rainy and yucky. And tomorrow we'll get snow. So the kids are excited and we're all buttoned up and ready for it.
You spent the day cleaning the yard, getting rid of anything that might be a problem with the snowblower.
Yeah. You don't want to run over a weird random kid stick toy.
No.
With snow.
Yeah. Little plastic thing.
So instead of doing the quote for the day today, do you have a verse for the day or something?
Yeah,
we can get back into that.
We've been getting a lot more into this with the kids because of Christmas, right? And so today it's Matthew 24:44. Therefore you also must be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an hour you do not expect.
Good Christmas quote.
It is.
But
and it does apply to living off the grid.
It does. And if you're not prepared and right with God, none of this is really going to do you any good, is it?
No.
That's the first preparation.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. And we'll see you next time. Merry Christmas.
Bye.